Bo jung de ji xie bo zha chung bo yang da bo to be ri bo dong xie zu de bo de wo ri xie bo ji de ge bo ji wo ji ka lu ju bo la da me bo la da me na ji de bo san ji chung de de be xia jiao tu bo bo jia zi lo ju dong jia zu jie wo tu bo jung de xie Da jumbo yang da bo zo be san je re bo da xia su de bo de wo re xie bo ji de ji wo du we ka lo ju bo la na me bo la da me na ge de bo san ge zhong de be je wo ye ye tu bo la xia de lo ju do jia du ji wo du bo zhong de xin xie bo da jumbo yang da bo zo be san ge re bo da xia su Devara cheba jine cheba jivu duve kalo jubo lana Tata mena je dhamma sanje jonde debe jewa shaya tuba la chata Chedo jazo je Uta de gani to je gani sachi Tela kumba dumpune Ngani je dende na choche Teze kebo jala jazeba nanda punga chodo suzang Ishe yozo seje rambo ramba jide sona ramya Gombo jini senjo tempa jime dave jan sendo rawa jala jaza Dure jena seba suna ji nyame kini jala jaza Puji jende ba tamje jembe dumba Sono yende gyazo je deshi shela jaza Tabe deja dewa gyur gewe nyezo le roje Chedo de la jelyo ma shinju jela jaza Trone trove la yang de la ba da la ra de ne Shenje tamba yende de gyundu la yang cha za Yeba chiya me cha shi gewa puzun sabar Rangi sene yondu de dene sake temba Kamara re marme da gyoma seba churda Melaman deda vo deje chena deda Sona de tamje sebayi goba dune genje radu Garana chive lapchule sebe sol Chova chova sho
To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata and over the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When the supreme among humans who were born on this earth, he paced out 7 strides and said, I am supreme in this world. To you, who are wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With supreme signs, face like the spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. You are immaculate, 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity which makes one free from attachment, the virtue which frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to that Dharma which pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by waves of aging, sickness, and death.
Papa Gujo Sula Cha Dige Dagi Toba Duji Na Chunde De Gibu Ka Chago Pumbo Rila Gelo Gindu Chumbo Dan Chanju Sebe Gindu Chumbo Dan Tabo Chedo Shudu De Chunde De Samo Nawa Shijawe Chuge Narangi Tenge Zela Nyobara Shudu Yan De Anjo Zemba Zemba Jembo Baba Chereze Wanju Sheraje Barudo Jemba Samo Jeba Nila Nambar Pombo Ngabo De Da Laya Rashinje Domba Nambar Tao Ene Sageji Tu Tsedan Demba Sheribu Anjo Zemba Zemba Jembo Baba Chereze Wanju La Geje Mezo Riji Pu Kala La Sherage Barudo Chimba Samo Cheba Cheba Deba De Chidar Labar Ja Geje Meba Tang Janju Zemba
Zemba Jambo
Baba Jireze Wanju Ji Tsedan Demba Sheri Dade Bola Geje Meso Sheri Bu Riji Buam Riji Kala La Sheraje Barudo Chimba Samo Cheba Cheba De Chidar Labar Ja Geje Meba Tang Janju Zemba Zemba Baba Jereze Onju Ki Sedan Demba Sheri Dade Bola Geje Meso Sheri Riji Pon Riji Pomo Kala Sherapi Barudu Chemba Samo Cheba Cheba Deba Didara Nambar Tawa Chade Pombo Ngabo Tena Laya Rajinge Tomba Nambar Bade Su Tao Su Tomba Tomba Ni Su So Sule Tomba Ni Shemayi Tomba Ni Le Kyan Su Shemayi Tejen Do Sowa Dan Duje Dan Duje Dan Nambar Sheba Na Tomba Sheribo Teta Che Tamje Tomba Ni De Tsini Meba Majeba Manga Tima Meba Tima Dan Tewa Tewa Meba Gawa Meba Wo Sheri Nande Tomba Ni De Tsini Meba Majeba Manga Tima Meba Tima Dan Tewa Tewa Meba Gawa Meba Wo Sheribo Teta Wena Tomba Ni La Zume Sowa Me Dushe Me Duje Me Nambara Sheba Mime Nawa Me Name Cheme Lume Yime Zume Chame Chime Rome Reja Chemedo Mije Kame Bane Yije Kame Yije Nambara Shebe Kanje Pado Yamedo Mareba Me Mareba Sepa Kashi Sebe Pado Yamedo Peshendu Dunga Wadang Kunjung Obadan Lame Yishime Toba Me Mato Paya Medo Sheribu Dawa Anju Sambana Toba Mebe Chir Sheraje Parudu Chembala Tejin nede semla treba traba mede chinje lole shindo dene nyange le debe tarara chindo deso do namara sanje damje gyashara ge parudu chimbala tene lana meba yanta bo sobe chanju obar zoba san jeso dawe na shara ge parudu chimbe na reba chimbe lana mebe nga minyamba da nyambe nga Donge damje radu shivara chebe nga mizu bana dembara shiva jade shirage parudu nga meba daya tha gade gade para sang gade budi so shari bo chanjo semba semba jembo deda shirage parudu jemba samola labar jo dene jumde de tenge je dele shende chanjo semba semba jembo paba jere se wanchu la leso she chawa leso rigi bu dede shino dede shende shedara juji temba shindu shirage parudu samola jebara chade tishin sheba namgyan jesu gira chomden deje geje ka sene sedan demba shari dadi budan chanju semba semba Baba jere ze wanchu dan tamje dan dembe kororo teta dan tada meda ramai kesar jebe jide yeran de chomden deje zomba la ngomba
Page 11. Thus I have heard, once the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajgriha on Vulture's Peak, together with a great assembly of monks and Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was totally absorbed in the concentration that examines all phenomena, called profound illumination. And at the same time, the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, was engaged in the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond, analyzing the five aggregates by nature and then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra spoke to the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying, how should those of good family learn who wish to follow the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond? Thus he spoke, and the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, replied to the Venerable Shariputra, saying, O Shariputra, whatever son or daughter of good family wishes to follow the profound practice of the wisdom gone beyond, should look at it like this, analyzing the five aggregates by nature empty. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is no other than form is no other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, karmic formations, and consciousness are all empty. Therefore, Shariputra, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are neither impure nor free from impurity. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no karmic formations, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. There are no spheres of the eyes up to no spheres of the mind. There are none of these all the way up to the sphere of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance, nor is there destruction of ignorance. There are none of these all the way up to, there is no old age and death, nor is there destruction of old age and death. Thus there is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, and no path. There is no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, all bodhisattvas hold to the wisdom gone beyond, and because there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond falsity, they reach beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times, by relying on the wisdom gone beyond, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, most perfect and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the wisdom gone beyond, the mantra of great insight, the unequaled and unsurpassed mantra, the mantra that calms all suffering should be known as the truth, for there is no deception. The mantra of the wisdom gone beyond is proclaimed. O Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should learn the profound wisdom gone beyond. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and praised the noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, saying, very good, O son of good family. It is exactly like that. The profound wisdom gone beyond should be practiced exactly as you have said, and in the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the noble Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering, and the world with its gods, men, anti-gods, and spirits, their hearts. Praise the words of the Blessed One. So ends the noble discourse on the essence of the wisdom gone beyond.
Oye, 나들이 뭐 보고 오제. 아니 진짜지 다지단 좀 준주고 진짜들이 나 준주기 드린 가서 준주기 계산들 잠시하기 아니 되니 마야. 제시대스 그 방향이 제시대 사부도 그래 재산디 가서 제마 진짜 제마 소득서 많이 맞고 저기 드린 가서 아니 계산 다 군종아 유명아 나네 아니 유명아가 나네 아니 시럽 뜻띵이 차는 시럽이 꼴로 대시야가 디마시 아니 맞아 저한테는 시에 바로 계속 계속 되고 저한테는 계속 근데 잠시하게 인소노시
It is Thursday, and ordinarily on Thursdays, the topic is the way of the Bodhisattva, the Bodhicharya. But where we would leave off, we have left off last week now, and what remains is more having to do with the practice of conscientiousness that is even deeper, and that we will leave for when we resume. In the meantime, as we have studied the 5 omnipresent mental factors and the 5 mental factors with definite determinate objects. In that second group of 5, following concentration, there remains wisdom, the mental factor of wisdom. We will discuss this, and then we will open for Q&A, and you, with your questions, may ask those questions during the Q&A.
오야 오늘 되게 다 되네 당아서 대 준주고 띵한 그 방향의 참비 탄다 또 따게 샤유 공도 제마 진짜야 로사는 진짜 초도 잠바니 방향 진짜 되네지니 막 고도니 막 준주도 하마 또 제마는 막게 인스 다 드링어도 대 시럽다 나바 시럽 다 시럽 생기되니 다 가진 거는 먹어서 떼서 시켜요 다 시럽 생기 젤레 가르 시럽 뭐 가르 수지 얘기하면 어쩌다 되게 아니 나도 디나마 이마도 대부분 가래
Here.
다주 군도 세리 군도라다 다주 군도 다주 군도 나는 많아 시신이 시행이 손었어
다시 다니 바이오 파트너들이 아니 제일
진짜 로제마야 소들 다 달로 로디 진짜 디나로 맞은 로제마 진짜 소들 맞아 디나라 봐서 바양도 마치 못으니 시에 줘서 예수
So after the holidays, when we return, we will resume the chapter of the Bodhicharya on conscientiousness, leaving us here now concerned with mental factors with a determinate object. This is a presentation drawn from this text that is the science and philosophy in the Indian Buddhist classics, having to do with science and philosophy in these Buddhist classics. And so now we turn to the mental factor of wisdom.
뭐야 다 가진 것도 시럽지 다시 가지고 다 시럽지 땡이지 고민다 땡이지 고민다 토비아 가로다 시야 땡이지 고민하디 곰게 땡이지 고민하디 다 시럽 토비아지 들어왔어 다 시럽이 간듯이 젤레 간듯이 요래 간듯이 톱그래서 시야 된다로 다 시럽 토비아가 유리 간듯이 요랬으나 시럽 줄래 깨야 돼또 주소어디 퇴바 퇴바다 린다 아니 저기다가 곰바다 다 되게 퇴바다 삼바다 곰발래 아니 대시 깨고요 틀 깨고요 시럽 주디 갈게스나 퇴중 삼중 곰중 시럽들 깨고요 그래서
Therefore, here, regarding wisdom, wisdom is defined in terms of its functions, its nature, and the exercise of concentration is for the purpose of developing wisdom. Wisdom has as its cause study and reasoning and meditation. So study, that is listening, and contemplation and meditation are identified as wisdom's causes. Again, these produce the wisdom arising from listening, the wisdom arising from contemplation, and the wisdom arising from meditation.
Oh yeah, 다 셔럽 유디체. 다 셔럽디 뭐 셔럽 생에데 간디지 요래서 나고 저었던 간디지 요래서 나고 가르스나 딱벌 제베 철라 민네 랑도도 쳬벌 제베 칠레젠 되게 셈질라 아니 셈중 디세가 셔럽 셈중 셔럽 그래서
That then is the cause of wisdom. What is the nature of wisdom? Someone would ask, what exactly is wisdom then? And wisdom is, as defined here, a mental factor that, focused on an object of inquiry, has the function of analyzing it by its own power.
오야다 도시 나는 거기 심중지 모두 들리세 다는 심중생에 대한이 다 직파게 심중기다 배도지 셰바이나 다 배도지 공어수나 나도 다 잘라도지나 고 잘라도 제주서 뭐다 거기 들리지 열다 센텐 거와 되게 때 간데 열으나 베나스다 나도 듀타르로 듀라고다 듀타모 라고다 참모 무슨 케버 제네 제바 제용도 제바 가서는 주제 셈저로 다디 참모르다 디라고다 딜레 타워 딜레라고다 건주다 제바 제네 타라 제바 지기도 오 딜레기 셈 야모디라고다 디 참모르다 제바 지기 셈도저로 오디디 아니다 빼도 마서 딜레지 요래서 놓자
So then the essence understood that way. And as it is a mental factor, to illustrate the sort of mental factor it is, just as someone will say, there is such and such a thing, if you're looking for it, there is such and such a thing, there it is, they may point it out. So we can point out an example to illustrate the mental factor of wisdom. An example to illustrate it is of a mental factor that analyzes properly the distinctions between gross and subtle atoms. So then this analyzing mental factor is involved in discriminating between this that is fine and this that is coarser, this that is coarser still and this that is coarser still, this finer than that and that finer than this, and so on. This is an illustration of the mental factor of wisdom in analysis.
Oh yeah, that's 셔럽생의 간디스 제일 가래. 다 셔럽생의 간디스 요래스나 셔럽생의 가래스나 다 들어들어. 다 딱봐 니기 오부 쳐남라 rab도 넘버 제바스 딱제 다 제바 제사가 유딜라 제바 제네 아니고 다디 차와르다 디 라과르다 디 야가르다 디 두가르다 디 펜바르다 디 뇌바르다 세야게다 제바 제네 아니 수주가 셈 태좀 타니 셈나라야 타 맞춰봐 얘나 다고 타 맞춰봐 바까네 다디 이마 셰바 제바디 아니 셰라 레스모스.
Then the function of wisdom, just what is wisdom in terms of its function? What is it doing as it differentiates between, for instance, subtler and coarser, finer and coarser, better and worse, superior, inferior, beneficial and deleterious, harmful? These discriminations are the full differentiation between the qualities of things to be investigated. It has wisdom, the function of removing doubt, where the mind is undecided and ambivalent. The wisdom makes a determination. So in terms of its function, it removes doubt and so on regarding its object.
오야, 딱 한다를 배당 아주 근데 최고라도 남자에게 싫어고 또 제거해야 돼. 대화도 동해서 대화 가래, 동해 가래. 아니 동해라 동해이 봐, 라트바 대화라 대화이 봐, 라트바. 아니 대화 조직이 주 개화이 봐, 동해 조직이 주 디과이 봐. 대주파 대좀 고 유를 제바 체니. 아니지 고 동해 가리기 연구해 봐, 대화 가리기 연구해 봐, 주 제바 체니. 아니 계획 또래 대화 중국해 봐, 디괴 또래 동해 중국해 봐. 어디다 대주 또 수치 그랬네. 싫어서 젤레를 해서 오지.
And the principal utility of wisdom is namely in identifying and comprehending pain and discerning pain and discriminating it from pleasure and identifying pain as pain and pleasure as pleasure with the comprehension of each, the identification too of each and its cause, that is, pain with its cause in non-virtues, and pleasure with its cause in virtues. Any ambivalence or doubt regarding this, wisdom makes the final determination regarding, such that there is a recognition that by the force of non-virtues, pains ensue, and by the force of virtues, pleasures and satisfactions ensue.
다 얘기 되지 뭐 셔도 잠바 싫어지 뭐 샤브 갑술라 아니 생이들 개치쇼들 가르샤르나 넘버 제바스 넘버 제바스 고 잘라이는 파주 마제바 수수 세부스는데 디나 디바 디 마이바 되게 세부스여들 넘버 제바스로 세상다 가리 넘버 제바스나 고 미야게 유디 아니 미게 유디라 아니 바게 임바다 마임바게 넘버 스 세부스는 제브 투바디 아니 싫어고 넘버 제바스에 되다들을 해서
As for the essence, the nature of wisdom in a definition indicating that most significant, most important nature of wisdom, it is that it differentiates the qualities of things. Differentiation is bringing clarity where there would be confusion. It allows for no confusion. It makes for clear differentiations. That is, whatever it has for its objects, for its object, it differentiates between that object, and the differentiations are clear and unambiguous.
오야 다 니마 토바 가르레기를 해서는 다 싫었던 뒤시니부디 뭐 유로 미국 지원도 미국 지단 때스 자우요래 이나 양 군이 내가 제일 민저를 해서 싫었던 뒤시니가
No. Now, this may give rise to certain doubts, including whether or not wisdom and discernment might not be the same thing. However, wisdom, by its own power, differentiates individual things, whereas discernment, by its own power, applies a classificatory convention to them.
오야 다 싫어게 수수고 랑덥지 제바치 그랬어 수수고다 유고 바게 유니 숨 가서 미국 가서 때 미국에 유수도 맞추고 가잖아 랑덥고 제바치 그랬어 뒤시지 랑덥지 랑덥지 탄이 도버치 그래 꼭 명디 뒤시되게 다고 바게 잘라되게 디다 미 배는 미도지 배나 아니 밍 밖에 미미미미미미로 수가 뭐 타니도 봐. 콜라 타니다야다 디 잘라디 밍도 빠냐다 그거라 뒤식 지그래. 코니 카가 제디 셔럽 지그래 어디 켜버리 그래서
Here then, the difference between wisdom and discernment being that wisdom has in its objects that it differentiates between, allowing for no conflation, and it does this by its own power. This is the function of wisdom. It differs from discernment in that where wisdom is differentiating between objects by its own power, discernment is merely applying a convention of names to it. For instance, had you a number of people, they might be identified with their names that allow each to be differentiated from the other through, though, a convention of names, whereas wisdom differentiates among the objects themselves.
다 셔럽기 유라 당도지 태숨 쥐고 태숨 따다 까두고 제투고 그랬어. 제투고 그래 뒤식이 태숨 제투고 말해 어디 쳐버서 되래서
네. Yeah.
셔럽기 태숨 쥐고 봐. 뒤식이 그 태숨 까두고 말해 제투고 말해서
Wisdom is able to eliminate doubt entirely, whereas discernment is not.
무슨 말? 다 셔럽라 낭스 나 셔럽 코나라 낭로 미려 컨디션에서나 셔럽라 딱 셔럽 코나기 뭐고네 얘도 셔럽당 장도 셔럽스 니 자그래서 셔럽 왜 셔럽 예나스
No, just. Furthermore, wisdom may be categorized in terms of its nature as of two types: innate wisdom and wisdom acquired through mental cultivation.
다 거기 계도 셔럽다 저중기 셔럽 이 제도 하다 치마 저중기 셔럽라야 낭시기 갈려서나 아니 투중기 셔럽 삼중기 셔럽 검중기 셔럽 숨
So there are two categories within wisdom, these two, innate wisdom and wisdom acquired through mental cultivation. That second wisdom acquired through mental cultivation is again of three kinds: wisdom generated through learning, wisdom generated through critical reflection, and wisdom generated through meditative cultivation.
다 되네 말이야 숨 버게데 안기 마스디 코란 커도 마도다 당본이스가 다 퇴중 셔럽들린다 퇴중대로 당본이스 퇴중 셔럽들라 최종 셔럽들라 티 마스터 지지 지니치와
쇼상 가세.
쇼라나 안 돼. 예지 제비 안다라 안 돼. 최종 퇴발라 소배에서 조발라 되묘고베 가사라니 이줄랑한게 제베 셔럽 이 데르시 알레레 다디 데르데 많이 테스 최종 셔럽 지보레메도다 많이 얘기디 이 데르도 오고니 깨도 셔럽 줘와 깨도 셔럽 생에디 깨도 셔럽 생데 가레스나 퇴발라 소발라 조발라 되묘고베 가사라니 이줄랑한게 제바 줘로들 깨도 셔럽스 Yes. What is that?
Now, first is the wisdom that arises spontaneously within a person's continuum without having trained in learning and so on. That is wisdom that is innate wisdom.
다 되네 저중기 셔럽 다 토성 고중 셔럽 해줘와 다 되라 토성 당고 퇴바들라 수럽이 생각 마텨봐 녀바 지직세 아니 녀바시 미지벌 로라 짐바시 수외치도 카드에다 로디 셈라 셔장 제바 오 제바 소지 코네 라지엄 예비 셔럽들라 셔럽탕 셔럽들라다 디스다 퇴중 셔럽슬라다
Second is the wisdom that ascertains just the general meaning of the words through listening to any teachings not previously heard. This describes the first form of wisdom acquired through cultivation. It is that wisdom that ascertains just the general meaning of the words through listening to any teachings not previously heard, memorizing them without forgetting, and reciting them, copying them, and so on, in order to commit them to memory. And any who have this text, in the English translations, page 117.
퇴중들은 나색이 시셔주다 퇴중들은 나색이 그 sabje 시샤는다 퇴중 당분이 버지 다 순바들라 지들 퇴베 되어라 딱시 제베 탈 세면 예반예바스 세면 예반예베 셔럽시도와
Third is the wisdom that engages in inquiry and analysis of the meaning of the words listened to, and eventually, through valid cognition, ascertains that meaning.
그래서 알레 다티디시 다드네 디젤이 안조 가리워스나 삼중기 다 퇴베 되는데 삼중기 예반예다 세면 예반예도 삼중 예반예바로와 예반예바래 제단 삼중기 예반예베 되어라 아니 가르쳐서 랑 양양 공부를 제발을 주베 아니 루셈 레스로 신장스다 다 레스로 시에서 땡이제기 도던 데베 셈세지 보달라 아니 공중 셔럽스도와
Now, fourth, there having been a valid cognition that amounts to the ascertainment of the meaning presented through the words, on the basis of that ascertained meaning, a single-pointed mind, assisted by a special pliancy that makes the mind and body serviceable, arises. This is concentration. And from that, based upon this, meditating again and again on the meaning ascertained by the wisdom arisen from critical reflection, arises the next, the wisdom of meditative cultivation.
오야 다디 셔럽들라 야 여와 지단지라 가리어서나 셔럽들라 셔럽 겨와 셔럽 미겨 셔럽 로마데 데야 그제난 대시 세부 요레스
And for another division or classification of forms that wisdom takes, wisdom may be of non-virtuous form, virtuous form, or neutral form,
다디 제시 양모스 보게
or unspecified form.
제시도 모아서 되고 내가 싫어 요말한테 되나샤 다디네 셔럽의 양 가리어서나 셔럽들라 셔럽 채와스 즉 셔럽 뉴로와스 셔럽 사바스 아니 셔럽 세와스 어떤 아주 뒤 셔럽 나로야 요아들이 채야 요래서
알레 체와
셔럽 채와 중화도 채와서 요로 셔럽 주고 셔럽 전부 교독세도 아니 셔럽 뉴로 다 코에 삼도 당당 뉴로 쉬우지를 코 로종지도 좀 뉴로스도 뉴로와스 아니 셔럽 사바 근데 동반이 또 셔럽 하장 사부를 세죠 사바세 아니 셔럽 세워 그 세워 쉬우도 쓰고 들리 셔럽 시치 그래요.
And again, the divisions of wisdom, or the forms wisdom might take, are great wisdom. We say this person is very wise, very intelligent. This person is less less intelligent. Rapid, quick, we speak of the quickness of a person. This person's very quick. The rapidity of their thought. This being that rapid, swift intelligence. And then penetrating wisdom. Emptiness is deep, and it's the wisdom that fathoms it is penetrating. So here, great wisdom, swift wisdom, penetrating wisdom, and clear wisdom. A person, we might say of a person that they are a very clear thinker.
Oh yeah, that in a sherab tribu carriers, na sherab tula jebala ten, sherab gobala ten, tribu carriers, na Kiwi Mombala sene, Sheje Nilu Shepherd Shavati, and a sherab tribu resons.
And with wisdom as its cause, what fruits arise? The fruits of wisdom are as follows. Upon clearing away being's confusion, wisdom brings about an understanding of the object's way of existing.
Oh yeah, that's thing called that's deleted. She gave us a saying to Namri. Now that thing that requires Shida. Anything that Pagay, say Changdang, that is jail on the Namringa to show. Any thing that sheriff called Tepurana, Yuba Shizunchina, and Tigara Resons.
Regarding concentration and wisdom, we will deepen our investigation of these later in the great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment, where there are 4 arguments and there are exercises for their development. But here, taking what is presented in this particular text, this is wisdom in its presentation here.
Oh yeah, any sheriff Cheba Chesta, Penamazu Tony Tobe Sheriff Della Deliore, Jacom, Jogoms, also Comja, Dinging Tonne, Dinging Jogom Euro, Dinging Jacom Singita, Tony Top Penna Yu Karina, Cheba Yu Karina Cheba Yomarta, Migwa Dinging, Migwa Se Jayag Chidula, and Kanda Jacom Chen. 아니 지금 내로 탈도가 통하라 제금 전에 보내야 됐다 공 사바들 조금 내 제금 사바를 해서 놓지
Regarding wisdom, in an instance of it being the wisdom penetrating emptiness, such a wisdom penetrating emptiness is a wisdom arising from an analytic meditation. We speak of 2 forms meditations. Take the placement meditations being one, and the analytic meditations another. The analytic meditation takes any object whatsoever may do as object of an analytic meditation, and placement meditation is achieved and exercised based on a chosen object of awareness. And then an investigation is made into the ultimate nature of the object. And this analytic meditation is a more penetrating and deep meditation than any mere placement meditation.
Oh, that 제금도 조금 생기지 미국 찍라 셈마이 와신 베템보 신이 네 투바 종소나 그 조금 세고 다시 다 제금 생기지 미국의 제부제기 미국도 가서 수수고 그 상료고 돈에 제부 망고 잡는 저거를 한다 미국 제부제기라 아니 셈마이 와신 미국 제부 잡두고도나 하고 제금 지기가 해서
during a placement meditation, the mind is placed on its object of awareness and the stable placement maintained for a duration. It should, for that period, remain placed on the object of awareness without becoming distracted. In an analytic meditation, the objects of awareness might be rotated through. There might be alternating objects of awareness during the rotation through an array of objects of awareness. The mind remains stable and undistracted. And as it does, should it do so then, this is an analytic meditation. And two, when there are various strategies employed toward a common end, the consideration of the diversity of strategies and arguments in their support, that consideration itself is an analytic meditation as well. If you are interested in furthering your understanding of concentration and wisdom, the place to develop that understanding further is in the Abhidharma. In exercises of concentration for serenity in the shamatha meditations, for the achievement of samadhi, there is a strategy of employing the 9 ways of placing the mind to achieve serenity in concentration. And when this is achieved, then in order to deepen concentration still further, one engages in addition, analytic meditation. Here then is concentration presented according to this text, in part science and philosophy and Buddhist classics. For those of you who have an interest and feel as though you have an ability to develop your understanding further, the Abhidharma presents the various means, various exercises for accomplishing, achieving concentration, with that concentration exercising it too, so as to master magic elimination and achieve penetrating wisdom of emptiness and special insight. These presentations in the Abhidharma are very extensive, and you might investigate this in greater depth there. And now we will open for Q&A.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. 그렇지. 저다 다른데 다 로데기 이동이슈 싸움겠다. 진짜됐다. 다른 담아야 되다. 먼저 드린다. 뭐는 로니슈 싸움나라. 수수부터 냠내 제외 토나야. 싸움로 땅에 수수 도대체 거야. 양아도 이놈아 로요 종교고 로니슈 싸비다는 수수고 가르치고 좀 자식되는 거 좀 제약과 자식되는 Some of them get to the young cigarette and you know, the good to to months shaggy is on us.
This year, which is coming to a close, 2023, if when you review this year, it gives you any cause for asking further questions having to do with your practice or any doubts at all that you might have, this is the time open for that. And regarding the year to come, and any plans you might have for it, possible too that you have questions regarding these plans and the year to come, and this Q&A time is available too for that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, Yeshua. I'm having some confusion about the word wisdom itself and the idea that there can be a non-virtuous version of it. When I think of, like in Sanskrit, like prajna, like there's an implication of excellence in it, like an excellent way of knowing. And so for me, the non-virtuous and the excellence seems to be at odds. And so if you could explain more about non-virtuous prajna.
Oh yeah, then share any tanya Quran la dopatik sagido. Hayes in the Gesiki and the Jessican and the Namgang Shirshane, the share la Yena, and the Gewi chop, Lumatingi chop, Migewi chop, Mandrawasum Sungswa, or Jetayina and Yegoyala. And Sherab Seredi, Pena and Lejarke, Pragya Seredi, Pragya, and Jase Koran, Yang Dakpar Seva, Yang Dakpar, and a Yang Dakpar Lavayana, and a Soundway Chop, and the Shula, Hogrua, or Jetangi Goyala, Sherab Seredi, and Miguel Chop, Tang Sherab did Tungmar.
그 배제를 대시 야단 토네 미기와 레숨 샤단 직시 아징에 시에디 아니 고랑게 시럽 그 낭세를 여와 샤단 베나다 로베 디 로베 통맥이 넘버 때라도 두어나라 다가데 시럽 숨 되듯이 대시 껴 요아레스 아무 직송다
그래서 아니 파마 토메기 제베 숑가기
넘버 때라도 두어
텐라베 두아
때라도 두어
Dua la nani jazzu.
Satenga yorwa.
La.
Satenga nani number 10 la dua sancho.
Dua la na au. Dua la alla se la dua. Now vamos. Jitan di ani sherab gi yewa mendra mo yorwa.
Nalo kemi ke loma de sumi yo.
La. This explanation of wisdom with these divisions, virtuous, unspecified, and non-virtuous, follows from one particular presentation of wisdom found in Arya Sangas. There are Arya Sanga is composed his five sets of treatises, and one among them is the treatise on that is the compendium of definitive.
Number 10 la abe duwa. What ko sa tenga se so changju tenga ge jise sa tenga yorwa. Sa tenga na number 10 la abe duwa su da dire. Shigi namsha 10 la pa ge ni shigi namsha 10 la pa ge kong tu sa zo pe se yorwa. O dina da khande sha che sem ge yu la pa jesu do dan de la. Ani ribe jesu do wa che, ribo mai be jesu do wa che. Ani ribo da ribo mai ba khang ge jesu ma ta ma jesu do wa se de sum sha.
Ani riboda
Ribe jesu do wa. Ribo mai be jesu do wa.
Riba Mayimba, Labna, Rix Miruma.
Oh, Rix Miruma jesu do wa. Ani Rix Miruma da Rix Miruma khayam ma te ge jesu do wa se de sum sha yo re sum.
Jambi de nga lam yoro. Jambi de nga lam yoro.
Jambi gi diwa.
Jambi de nga den lam yoro.
Jambi de nga lan pese khagar da ni.
Re.
Jambi de nga su jawa chamba gi zabe gi diyo changju de nga yoro.
Sa de nga de logro.
Sa de nga de pa.
Ani jangju simpa namgi sa nga la gogro we.
Changju sembe sa nga su tani yue na ga de na. Ta ga de tongmei ji zebe sa de nga su. Sa de nga su. Sa de nga na jig number 10 la be duas. O dig na la ta o de sun.
Arya Sangha composed the 5 sets of treatises on the grounds, and one among them is the compendium of definitive ascertainment, which is an investigation of the way in which a cognizer will follow its object, whatever it might be, and therein follow these particular 3 divisions of the virtuous wisdom, the non-virtuous wisdom, and the unspecified wisdom. It is found there in these treatises.
Counter the U number jebas with the packet singing number jebas, number jebadi, that carried number jebas, or rigba the rigba my but number jen, rigba yibe chot ledela, any sheriffs that god did Jani Mangui that the Kanda rigba the young Kabala, Chibu Jarna young, digba, yeah, Bell Mombashun Korana, Bemango, your response.
And there are reasoned, unreasoned, and unspecified forms wisdom takes. When wisdom is defined by its nature of having the function of differentiating, and where we ordinarily, and with a great majority of commentators, associate excellence with well-reasoned agreement or following reason principally, then your understanding or association of excellence with reason and with wisdom then is consistent with much of the Abhidharma.
저는 사무들의 땅으로서 사무들의 땅으로서나 배낭도 실업들라 당로 실업 유차라 미베비 실업 유차라 망부 유반나시 유차라 미베비 차 실업 차라 망부 유바 이직 너무 하고 해서
Now, you might think in this way that along these lines, that wisdom is a differentiation. And for instance, when wisdom is may differentiate between a range of objects, ranging in their coarseness from coarser to finer, there will therefore be a comparative range in the coarseness and fineness of the wisdoms that are investigating that range of objects.
다 실업 참을래도 라빠디 다 실업 변한 차라 이유와이나 참으디 아니 실업다 양다 버차나 실업라고디 양다 많이 버 차고 그랬어. 제가 그 뜻을 되죠. 권에 아니 그다 리버 많이 봐. 상무당 뜻을 그 시작하고 상무당으로 해서
And when there is a range then in the coarseness that wisdoms may take, then the range from more refined to more coarse will invite in association the finer forms of wisdom being more excellent, its coarser forms less excellent, and in view of this, a strong association between reasoned wisdom and excellence and unreasoned coarser forms as inferior.
추진도 강다 추진도 오면 라베나 배낭도 들어와 배낭도다 티과 첨보다 티과 중앙스러와 년도기 티과다 라산제기 티과도 톱제스 얘기 싫어도 와서 싫어래 이나양 티과 첨보고 남나 때리 고 싫어 지금 말고 방제 지지 방제 지기로 제가 고 싫어 고 티과 첨보고 남나 때리다 지도 잠바 아니 장주고 쓰면 장에 동이도 비셔라고 쓰면 아니 때 장주고 쓰면 장 아니 시외기 다랑 지부지도 고아 톱지디 그 방제를 시작으로 와
아니 년전은 저기
년도도 랑 지부지도 타르바 톱에디 이거 심볼로 때는 방제를 와 이나야 고 톱제 집어대 시럽을 와 시럽을 이나야다 이거 집을 남라 때는 양고 시럽 양타고 샤투고 말 왔어 어디나 시다 시럽 타라 자니 많이 알고 그래서
Now to take a particular subject here, the range found across the foundation vehicle and its array of wisdom, and the Mahayana vehicle and its arrays of wisdom. And there in the Shravaka Yana and the Pratyeka Yana, there the accomplishment of peace is a form of wisdom. Yet, from the Mahayana standpoint, it is not considered a wisdom at all. Rather, it is an abandonment. That is, it is to be abandoned and not wisdom. In the Mahayana, bodhicitta, emptiness, these are primary trainings of the Mahayana. And there, in that view, the pursuit of peace for a personal interest on the part of the Shravaka and the Pratyeka Buddhas is, though it is there to them accomplishment that is wisdom, it is to the Mahayana not so. Therefore, this range in from coarse to finer should be applied.
먼저 우마스 시제도 우마스도 기마스 타니레 말롱아 울레 네바스 우마스라 버와 제가 달라도 좀 타니레 동해디 시베타가 시웨타니여와 제가 시웨타데 방제를 시베타데 방제와 제가 다 데데이도 아무도 이거 친구들 그 오마바이도 잡아 시다데 방고로 시다데 방고로 제가 시다 방배 시다데 이거 친구 나라데네 방제 책도와 이나야 야 바게 대고 멤버들 주고 시다데 방제를 지금 말 시다데 톱제를 지기로 와 제가 시다 지마데 하고 라바차 시라 라바 제가 고 라바 참을도 라바라고 가까고 방제 작업 어디 괜찮다 냠랭이 배찬들의 연구 여러 송
The Madhyamika follows the middle way, falling for neither extreme. Neither the extreme of peace nor the extreme of samsara. Both the extreme of peace and the extreme of samsara are to be abandoned. The Mahayanist is a Madhyamika and recognizes the extreme of peace and the extreme of samsara, and that both are to be abandoned. But that extreme of peace is in the foundation vehicle, according to the foundation vehicle, an accomplishment, a wisdom and an accomplishment. But seen from the Mahayanist Madhyamika view, there is evidently a range of wisdom from the coarser to the more refined, every gradation along the way annulling the lesser form of wisdom before it.
아직 제시 제시들 때는 지나는다 시럽들이 고숨 샤투고 유바데 빠질다 놀 샤르크 선택이도.
So I think with represented that way, these three divisions become more clear to you, and we can leave it there for now.
아니 신발 그래서.
Are there others?
야, 제선을 해서 그거 봐. 제선 저 집에 가가이면서.
Is it the same question or a different question?
Differently the same. You spoke about the nine the nine different stages of playful meditation. Are those the same that we see in the nine levels of concentration? Are those the same things?
Then it's Sim Jok
Semneta
Neta,
semneta tingizin gus.
Gus, on there's they done any thing is in the negu. Thing is in the negu.
Malba semneta
They
semneta
done
gus.
something she done and the tigi nang se done joy.
Alele tizu joyores.
Mara joy yoris it dimason.
Ana.
And it's done the something in ne mindrawa la via dead, and the neta goody.
그니 가라스. 그니 데스 가바레. semneta gusi도 모두 sem 라과 시고. sem에 그 삼댕이 sem스도 sem데스 지네 강 도사와. 삼댕이 sem스도 지네 톱 사조 많았어. 그게 시기요레스. 안다 sem네도 구시도 하나 하나도 sem 당보 자니게. 뭐 시고레스. 땡인지 당보 장난 고죽도.
They are different. Yeah, they are different. The nine ways of placing the mind are, or the nine means of placing the mind. They are exercises. They are, of course, the exercises for a person, cruder exercises for a person as they are beginning to exercise concentration in order to achieve a samadhi. But the levels, the various levels of concentration follow from the achievement of samadhi, and then there are these levels of concentration. The nine placements are exercises for a person at the beginning.
삼네도 땡이지 구싱이 되는 건데 알아서 sem 비우 sem 배자기요 어디다다 sem네도 구 당부 장도 다 sem圈주고 대마도 얘네 지금 sem라 와라관네 전에 고존 갈래 장에 땡이지 장나 시고다 sem네도 그 땡이지 구월리도 잡아 구월레나야 땡이지 톱이요 말에 다 구월네 양조 sem 직톱이요 신의 땡이지 주어디 땡이지 톱아 샤워
In the nine nine means for placing the mind. They begin in that early state of mind that is likened to a monkey's mind, and that it doesn't remain still, and it's the starting point, and then gradually more stability is maintained until a ninth level, but even that level of placement isn't yet samadhi, isn't yet concentration. Then again, there's an additional step, and it would be that the 10th step then is concentration and samadhi.
이 교선 무슨 나라 쭉 자는 셰바 있나? 교선 무슨 나라 셰바 있나? 안다 셈네다 땡이 구싱이디 최중다 삼중 셈나 주자. 다 삼대기 셈스나 공중 셈레스 공중 셈. 어제가 보니 가가 해서
In the framework of wisdom arising from listening, arising from contemplation, and arising from meditation, these nine means of placing the mind are exercises involved in those first two, the wisdoms of learning and contemplation. The achievement of concentration, samadhi, is a mind or a wisdom that has arisen from mental cultivation, meditation.
다 컴는 자는 셰바 있나? 셈네다 그 땡이 지금 굿 되베셈스 하사 되베셈 삼대기 셈스는 컴 수감 그 셈. 아니 수맥이 됐 셈나야 수맥 컴 셈나 로고체다.
Tamadi?
아,
Tamadi?
담아가.
Karasmai?
쌤네 또 땡기지 구세조로와 리 되베셈 감숨나 자라이나 되베셈제 다 산댕게 셈스나 감 고멘셈 그러니까 수맥이 셈스나 델레 감막셈 그래서 감숨 셈 가가 그렇습니다.
And again, within the framework of three realms, desire realm, form realm, and formless realm, the 9 means of placing the mind are exercises of the desire realm. With the achievement of samadhi, of concentration, then that concentration and samadhi is involved in the form realm and the formless realm, these two higher realms than the desire realm.
어이, 나도 지고지. 다시 뭐 그러시면.
Okay, then, and in others?
뭐 그래요.
What others
저 유명하다.
have you got?
그 멍체. 너무매 저거 로제만다. 차지나 저 가리에서.
So far, the last year's questions. Now, what questions having to do with the coming year?
대버들 살살 개침을 말해서 뭐부터 개침을 해서.
This past year is now past and no longer so relevant. What's relevant now is the coming year.
뭐부터 라고가를 열 소저제 스라마 차상 소술 열 세든데 개침을 해서.
The coming year is now in hand. Anything that would be done with it, one has the ability to do with it what they choose.
아주 최사다 냠내 지역으로 세야가가 뭐뭐 요땅에 치도시만도 대발은 아주 요땅 투야 요말 땅의 편야 요말에서
That the spiritual practice is a practice of improvement in the future that may be improved and altered. The time that has passed and all of its events are not alterable again. And so the spiritual practice is the alteration and improvement of the future. So,
이 시간에는 아주 드린다. 땜제시니 뭐라면 아니 야고서
now, if there are no others, then to set down an auspicious precursor, then we will carefully recite our prayers and conclude there.
그래.
Is that right?
아니 그래 되는 거다. 아다 저 매거체 아니 난 로제마데 아니 로제마데 나라는 아주 미지 된다 된바 생이 소야기 굴롱당 때문에 거는 아주 너는 제기 이소하시.
All right, then may my life be made meaningful in this year to come. With this attitude, refining our intention in this way, we will recite our closing prayers.
야. 냠내 지도자 방아도 냠내기 고쪽도 튠다 튠점 슬라바 튠 야고 용을 튠점 야고 거라스 튠점 야고기 튠 야고 소그레스 어제산 디 냠내 딜라따네 미제 야고 거야라 로디 야고 거라스 로디 야고 중소는 미제를 야고 파 소투고 그래서
제zan디 튼산디 야고 zona, then 튼디 야고 drugire,
튠 야고 소그레
튼디
튠 야고 용을 튠점을 겨울 첨부여
와,
제가 튠점 야고지 중앙에 튠점을 야고 중앙에 튠을 빼먹고 로고 지도로 펜토로 있는시 미지디 야고 소야라 로디 야고 소야시라 개침부를 로디 야고 차바이나 미지디를 야고 소야기 자기 개침부 차사래서
as one practices in the framework of the formal meditation sessions and the intercession periods. When the intercession periods are used with great care, this affects and influences success in the formal meditation periods. As this is so, it is also so that when a year's time is used well, this influences and affects the entire lifetime that becomes a success.
다 된대인데 아니 다 디버로다 나도 되니 봐 로사와다 아니 이슈가 총괄레비열에 아니 디줄라 먼저부터 지송당 아니 나도다 지조 전에 공생이 자기 열었잖아 공생도 투표보다 아니 공생 차선은 아니 양아도 진짜 좀 좋은 거 주잖아 아니 나도 베타 세치마 된다 때문에 영야 세디야 수술로 된다 때문에 영야지 아니 소야겠다 자기 좀 투야로 꾸는 땅데 아니 가서 좀 해야 이거 치료시 해서
Between now and when we reconvene, we will observe along with society at large, the social customs of observing Christmas time and the New Year. And then when we reconvening, we will do so to develop the means and mechanisms and supports for finding fortune in subsequent lives and in this present life. And with this in mind, as the refined intention underlying our closing prayers, we will recite these closing prayers.
예, 다 드린 것도 주도 제가 뭐 들어요. 들고 들어야 돼. 아무데 아니 말한다. 다 로제만 봐. 못으니 진짜도 좋도야기. 땜제기 치도 찍제. 니바데네 드린 것도 취지 걸어 샤일라다. 나는 콘셉트이 어떤다 페른 거지다. 아주 대스몰 표가 이송시.
Now we are concluding this lecture half an hour or so early, and this is to set down the auspicious precursor to continuity in the new year. That's one purpose, and the other purpose is that the wheel of the Dharma Shire is leaving for his vacation here now, and so we will conclude early for that reason too.
아니 어떻게 스타트 인데 당한서 로직 나를 최 년보 퇴백이 개와 되기 아니 랑기 스페 랑기 아니 셈나 바자든 주 시와 바자 시월라 때는 랑기 내 나서도 좀 미지 된다 때뭐 용아 직 아니 말아서 거의 전부링 나는 목이 마주 내염 주 시와 되게 지도라 뭐 잡고 지도라 아니 산지기 때문에 유는 내봐도 라면 꾸지 때문에 되게 지도 뭐 잡아 이나 아니 뭐 전부 차버렸어 제가 편도 전부 열었어 되게 지도 뭐 잡아 낭산에 너가 되게 예수
네, 아니 로디게 아니 퇴계어디 대화가 딱
봐 삼바도 뭐 숨어서
그래.
저선 고좀 집에 개와디 아니 랑기 셈나기 땅랑 졸라 내 니모 고한테 바자만 모여 대저 봐 다봐
네.
다네 랑기 동에 베셈나는 시대다 되베 시대 토바 아니 랑기 코이 잠불인데 시 목이 모두 내음 돌아봐 시네 아니 저 디기데 대버 요야 근데 너는 제로 세송
May we direct all of the virtues of having studied in the Dharma and contemplated it and cultivated it to the elimination of the habitual tendencies of afflicted minds and attitudes, that these virtues might bring peace to our minds, and that the virtues might bring peace to all of the world, beset as it is by violent conflict and famine and drought, to bringing an end to all of these, and to ensuring the lasting presence of the Buddha Dharma in the world and the long lives lived by the gurus in the tradition of the Buddha Dharma. To these ends, we may dedicate our virtues through reciting these closing prayers. Oh, and when the intention is this sort of intention, then the prayer is most majestically vast.
Bele do bele do ye je kadara yamba kaje sabode lume mari je don do wa ye na de jave ongo da ju je tema sunbe sera kulo yang jambe yang je zeve je zone Tembe rinpa kunsan lanje jo, nyene rupe ye nye je jo. Rangi che shen tobe lanje ne, shoda zewe rave dage je. Goe ye mba se je ne, jave temba yure ten jo je. Temba rinchen choji ma jaba, cha cha nyambara gyube chode ne, nyinche chenpe yi rawa jewa ye, pede deje sewara jewa sho, seje jave menju chile le ju chanju langje rinpe kyang. Tade namji yila pede shen, Gyave zeba rendo gyongyo je, Langsa drube tujin ruje je, Gegen seje medami mebo, Sera kondo gyave naba yi, Namda landa jewa ma je, Kanze tebo jolo juju je, Tsujen jolo zumba diye ze, Tode namge tado droje jing, Kashi gyazo chugu kyaju chi.
For my two collections, vast the space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of the paths of the complete teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I offer this treasure of happiness to aid all sentient beings. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time by following the complete graduated path to enlightenment in the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings that eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may he always be assisted by the Mighty One, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.
Dagi jinye sabe jewa di tenzang zhawa kuna gombe Chebara jizu lo sang zhabe yi tenbe nyingbo rindu seje sho Mari rawe gurwe shingang de pendang dewa malu chongwe Chere sewa tenzin kyatso yi Chabe sidi padu tengir ji Chabe bawo jidar jimba nam Kundu sambo teyang deshinde Teda kunji jesu dalu ji Gewa deda tamji radu Tuzun shebe gewa tamji ge Owa gangla chodo naba Dagi gewe zawa digu ya Sambo juje rado mori Jaju sencho rimbo che ma ge pana ge Yewa nyamba meba yang One gondo bewara isho.
I dedicate whatever virtues I have ever collected for the benefit of the teachings and of sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Lotong Dragpa to shine forever. In the land encircled by snowy mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good, all powerful, sensing counsel. Please remain until cyclic existence is ended. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samantabhadra realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue, with the dedication praised as the best, by the victorious Tuscan ones of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deed. May the supreme jewel, Bodhicitta, that has not arisen, arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more.
투지 사상만은 공생 거고 용해 너는 유 아니 아마도 다시 들려서
Thank you very much, and I wish for all of you to have a very joyful holidays, and may all be auspicious with you.
그렇지